people want to be idiots and think they know things they have no clue about, them. Fine, bring it on.
Hey everyone, welcome to the channel. My name is Belgian Jasper. If this is your first time on the channel, hit subscribe right now. There are few people that have been more influential to the world of metal than Peter Tagtgren, from Hypocrisy, Pain, and also as a producer for many bands. A new Hypocrisy album is finally coming our way, and there's also been some cool stuff in the Pain camp. So the time was right to sit down with Peter and learn all about it. Okay, Peter, thank you so much for your time today. The countdown has started. That's exciting. First Hypocrisy album in 8 years. I know that you've released or have been part of release cycles of many albums before, but this one must be special to you.
I think every album that you make, that you put in a few years in, it's special for sure. So I'm really curious to see the response of it.
Well, I mean, it's after, it's been 8 years since we had a new album of the band. It's been a few years since we had the latest album of Pain, your solo project. And now all of a sudden we get a whole lot of material sent our way. Earlier in the summer, we had a new single from Pain as well, Party in My Head, with a very fun video. So my first question for you has to be, as clearly one fan to the other, why is The Big Lebowski the greatest movie of all time?
Because he's the dude, man. I don't know. I mean, I have a lot of fun memories about this movie. Me and Alexi from Children Bottom was watching it a lot. And I know the guys in Children Bottom watch it a lot. And we were actually watching this movie, I don't know, 5-6 times during the time we did Blood Drunk album, I think. Yeah. If I'm not mistaken. Otherwise, we were at his place or my place watching. We watched it all. And it's a fucking funny movie as hell.
We'll focus obviously our time today on the new Hypocrisy album. Mm-hmm. People are labeling this like, oh, we have this comeback now. It's not that you've ever been away, since the end of Disclosure. I think I lost count after about 15 or so when I was counting the albums that you were making for other bands and other projects. Have you just been too busy to focus on Hypocrisy, or what made the time now feel better? Or I should say, a few years ago when you started working on the album.
Yeah, I don't know. It was after end of Disclosure, we toured a lot. And we were still touring like 2018, 2019, but didn't have a new album out. So for me, it was just, hey, you have 12 albums, suck it in for a while. I'm sorry, but I was not motivated, at all to start a new one. But my son and I, we started to write a death metal album. We just got to demo state to the demos, and I don't know, somewhere there it starts sparkling again, like to start writing some riffs and shit. So I think 2018 we started to like, okay, it's time to really do something now. I actually stole a couple of songs from this project that me and my son did. I mean, Sebastian did Dead World. Mm-hmm. I didn't have any lyrics then because it was just in a demo state of it. So we used that, and we used one more song. I think it was like Brotherhood of the Serpent. It was also made for me and my son, but I thought they were so good because both of us like, yeah, let's do something else. You know, you have 11 songs and we just put it in a pile. Mm-hmm. And so that helped a lot, you know, to steer it in the direction of what would be, I would say. The other guys contribute a couple of riffs each as well. So in the end, I'm really happy. First, we were thinking about releasing only 9 or 10 songs out of this. But in the end, it was like, I said to the record company, fuck this, no bonus tracks, just give them everything. Because I don't know when the next one is going to be, and why milk it, you know? I'll see the world
dead. Together, I think with Day Will Arrive and Gods of the Underground, I think Dead World is really one of the standout tracks. I think it's a really great song. You know, obviously Sebastian has worked with you in the past. You know, he's the drummer that you rely on for Pain when you take Pain on the road. He's contributed before from a writing perspective as well. As a father, seeing the quality that Sebastian is producing, is that something you expect? Is that a little surprising still? Is that scary at times? How is that working with Sebastian that way?
I think he has a very strong mind of his own. He knows what he's doing, and I'm really happy to be a part of his development. I was 22 when we released the first Hypocrisy album. He just turned 23, or just a few months ago. So what he's been doing since, I mean, he did the Soldier of Fortune with me on End of Disclosure. He was 15 years old then, writing riffs, but he was a drummer, so that was kind of interesting. He wrote in a different way, a very simple way, which I really liked in the song. And he's a hell of a musician. I'm really proud of him. You know? And I'll let him be. He'll do his stuff, and eventually it will come up to surface.
Okay. So we shouldn't be expecting any, you know, Cavalera family-like projects just yet, where you and Sebastian are going to do something different with that material that you wrote, that whole album.
Yeah, well, actually, it's probably won't see the light of day, unfortunately. But he's going to help me write with the new Pain album. I asked him if he has some cool stuff, because he's also into a lot of electronic stuff and shit. So let's see where we end up, you know.
When I listened to the full album, then I listened to the whole thing from a couple of times from start to finish. This feels to me like one of the more even diverse yet very balanced albums of Hypocrisy. Is it because it was created at different times that some songs go into very different directions, or was it always your idea to make a very varied album? How did that happen?
I don't know. I think in Hypocrisy we have these 3 elements, you know, fast songs, mid-tempo songs, and slow songs. And we got plenty of everyone in the album. And I think to make a complete Hypocrisy album, you need these really slow, heavy songs like Bug in the Net, or you know, like Final Chapter kind of feeling to it, you know, really doomy and not so happy. And
very
you
menacing.
also need you need the mid tempos as well, you know, like as a Chemical Whore or Roswell or Fire in the Sky, whatever, you know, this kind of thing. And also you need the fast ones, you know, like Dead World, or Another Day, or the title track. So for me, all these 3 components needs to be in there somehow. Whether it's in one song, all 3 parts, or if it's separate songs. So I think that's been our ingredients for albums since, I don't know, Fourth Dimension. I'm not trying to reinvent the band and trying to say we're something that we're not. We are Hypocrisy, and it should sound like Hypocrisy. I just want better songs, catchier songs, better melodies. When it's fast, it should be faster. When it's dark, it should be really dark. So, I mean, that's the things we try to push in there, or at least that's what I try to push. I don't want Hypocrisy to sound like something else. You know, it is Hypocrisy, whatever we do, as long as I write some riffs and Michael writes some riffs. You know, I think you can definitely tell that it's the same red thread through 30 years. It's your own puzzle, it's your own world, your own creation. And for me, I stopped looking around after second album, you know, what other people are doing, what's hip, what's in, what is not, you know, and so on. I mean, for the first album, when I started writing that, I was so influenced by Deicide first album, Morbid Angel's first album, and Tomb's first album, things like that in the end of 80s, beginning of 90s, that really influenced me. And that's really how I figured, like, okay, I need to start this death metal band. Because in the past, it was more thrash stuff that I was writing, because that was what was out at those days. You know, in the beginning of 80s, Welcome to Hell with Venom came out, it just kicked my ass.
Well, talking about, you know, all this legacy and where the band has come from, you mentioned it before, 30 years of Hypocrisy.
It's insane.
Are you, obviously right now your focus is on the new album, but milestones like this, what does that do to you? Are you thinking of doing some special items to celebrate in the future when we're talking about 40 years of Hypocrisy, 50 years of Hypocrisy? Is that something that you think about, or is that really
shit,
not
you
on
give
your
me
radar?
more gray hair, man. The plan was this summer to do 30 years on Wacken, you know, and do it a very special show, but it didn't happen, of course. So we'll see if we do something ourselves, or if we're gonna try to combine it with some festivals next year or something. I really don't know yet.
Yeah. Okay. We'll keep our eyes open for that then. You shared before that, you know, the album was created in different parts and it was sort of complete some time ago. You already shared, you know, with the very well-received single and video for Chemical Whore, that this was created in 2018, the video in 2019. Obviously then gets a whole new meaning with the pandemic happening. With knowing that all of this was created before, do you find it somewhat ironic or funny that some people are almost embracing that song as an anti-vax anthem when it really wasn't written about the pandemic at all?
People are stupid, you know. That's all I can say. This is not an anti-vaccine song, you know.
Exactly,
it's about, you know, the big pharma is, you know, shoving shit down your throat when you don't even need it, so they can make more money. It's super simple as that, you know. But if you want to twist it, I don't give a fuck. I think in general, since mid-90s, I've just been writing about things that I thought, first of all, was important for me, and I thought was very interesting to write about. I mean, 94 talking about different dimensions and shit like that. Now scientists are talking about, you know, maybe they live in different dimensions. That's why we don't see them. Yeah, I knew that 30 years ago. Thank you. But it's just my thoughts. You know, everything is my thoughts about things. Worship, if you look at the cover, pretty much that song is all about that. You know, it might as well be that they're watching us and they're going like, let's keep them stupid and dumb down. So that's why we only use a certain percentage of our brains, because otherwise we will be everywhere destroying things. So I think they have us on a leash in one way or another. So, well, actually the cover is about they had enough. They're coming back to collect, you know, all the stupid people.
You said in a previous interview that you're much grumpier to work with when it's about your own material, and that you are more fun when you work with other bands as a producer. for you to kind of wrap us up, where does your heart really lie? Like, are you a producer at heart that also likes to play, or are you a musician at heart that happens to help out other bands?
That's a good question. I'm a philosopher that trying to play guitar, and sometimes I come up with riffs and I need to make them into songs, and same with the ideas with lyrics and stuff. And sometimes when I have too much of myself and my stupid ideas, then usually I really like to work with other people, because there I only have to be the producer. Mm-hmm. With Hypocrisy or Pain or something, I have to be the songwriter, the producer, the mixer, the engineer, blah 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 blah. So there's a lot more pressure, and yeah, I tend to lose my mind a lot of times when I work with myself. When you work with other bands, your mission is to bring the best out of the musicians, you know, mm-hmm. and the songs.
Well, Peter, yeah. I want to thank you so much for your time today. Yeah, I really appreciate it. I wish you all the best with the release cycle. You too. And again, I think it's a really, really strong album, and I can't wait to hear That World and Sun, Gods of the Underground, and the title track live when you guys come play in Canada.
Cool, man. We'll talk soon. Thank you for your support, man.
You are awesome for watching this video. Click right here to see more content like it and subscribe to the channel.